Good morning, everyone. Brian here with BMK Retro Gaming. This morning I have for us the review of the Atari VCS 2600 original library game, Smurf Rescue in Gargamel's Castle. Now, the Smurfs, as we know, was developed by, I forget if it was Deke Entertainment or Hanna-Barbera or whom, and basically came out on television in 1981. And, well, by 1982, Coleco was doing a Smurf Rescue in Gargamel's Castle original library title for the ColecoVision. Excuse me. And, of course, this is the console port they sent to the Atari 7800, the Atari VCS 2600, excuse me, that same year in 82. As we can see, like most ColecoVision Coleco cartridges for the Atari, it's not in a black, shell. It's in one that's kind of chalk white or maybe beige colored, I guess you could say. I'm not sure. And we can see here it's pretty nice and all. Mine is very clean looking and all. Let me see if I can get that to focus a bit better. We might be able to barely see there that it says that it was made in 1982 by Coleco. And it was 1982 licensed by Wallace and Berry Co. of Van Nuys, California. That may be talking more about the TV show stuff. I don't know. Peyo, so... Yeah, Peyo's, well, they originally developed them, I think, for the comics and all anyway. Anyway, this is a pretty nice, decent cartridge, and it's a pretty good game, really. It's a simple scrolling platformer. I wouldn't say side-scrolling because it's not like, say, Super Mario Brothers or anything like that later on where, where the screen is going to cut you off if you don't keep moving forward. You can actually scroll left or right in this one as you please. It doesn't matter. But you just scroll from one screen to the next throughout the game. And it's pretty good. The whole premise is you're one of these Smurfs who has to rescue Smurfette from being held prisoner in Gargamel's castle. I'm not sure about what all I said about this back when I did the ColecoVision original library Smurfs regular title Smurfs Rescue in Gargamel's Castle review video. But it's kind of funny to me, with Smurfette. She started out being Gargamel created her as the first female Smurf, and according to the live-action films, even though I wouldn't say that's canon, she started out being one of those little naughties, and then he turned her into a Smurf. But being a Smurf, she was inherently good, so she goes from... His original intention was to use her, to sow discord among the Smurfs, since she'd be the only adult female Smurf. And, also as a way to help him with finding their village. She'd betray them and let him know how to get there, which is, despite throughout the TV series, back in the 80s and everything else, Gargamel happens to... He's been to the Smurf village a number of different times, but he never remembers where it is. There was even one episode back then called The Incredible Shrinking Wizard, where he ends up being shrunk down to about Smurf size, and they take him in, and he becomes kind of a Garga Smurf for a while, which also shows, although Gargamel's pretty much purely evil intention, always wants to use the Smurfs either for magic, apparently because they're the last ingredient in making gold, or wants to eat them, or what. Or as we saw in the live-action films, their magic allows him to make much more potent magic. Well, things like this, they actually take him in at the Smurf village. I mean, there have been times he's allied with them and all, and even though he hates the Smurfs, Gargamel shows on occasion that he's not 100% evil. He does have kind of a good side once in a while. Though, it's not a great deal of one. Anyway, with Smurfette, she... Having been created as a Smurf, she's inherently good, so she turns against him, and, well, her hair turns from being a brunette black to being blonde and all, and she stays with the Smurfs. and apparently divides their attention amongst the many male Smurfs, but it's not what you think, it's a kid's show and all, and apparently the Smurfs have no apparent use whatsoever for sexual reproduction. They're baby Smurfs kids, they're apparently born through magical means or something like that. And come on, Smurfette's the first and only adult female Smurf. Sure, there's like Sassy, who's a little girl female Smurf later on, but Smurfette's the only real adult one, so it's a weird dynamic and all. Anyway, the game, basically, again, you have to go through the game. It gets progressively harder. You have to make your way to Gargamel's castle and get there to rescue Smurfette. Again, I have just the loose cartridge, which is a pretty nice one. I think I bought it at my local game exchange retailer, but I'm pretty sure I did, but I might have gotten it some other way. I forget. It does have a little label thing on the back of it, but doesn't have anything on saying like it's been rubbed off or just faded away over time, so I don't know. But I do think that may have been how I got it originally. Anyway, without further delay, I'm going to get set up with my Atari 7800. And by the way, yes, even though it will come up on if you have a Hyperkin Retron 77 emulation hardware clone console like I do, with mine, it's only comes up like a half screen, so I wouldn't recommend playing it that way. Should use either original hardware or something equivalent like my Atari 7800 or Mattel and Television Systems Changer to enable this one. Otherwise, the Retron 77, you get like a half screen, even though you do get everything else. So, anyway, I'm going to throw this in with the Atari 7800, and we're going to get a look at the gameplay. Okay, so here we go. Let me get this. Okay, here we go. So you have nice little opening music there, right there. Pretty nice. And you have different skill levels. I'm just going to go with one because it's an easy one. If you take a good look at the graphics and all, it actually looks about as nice as or nearly as nice as the ColecoVision original library game that it was derived from, so it's pretty good. You don't use your button for anything. Simple controls. You just press up on the joystick when you want to jump, which is a simple jump up, and up and forward to do a jump that will clear obstacles. First round, of course, is not very much of anything at all because you don't have much of anything to worry about. No enemies or anything yet. You just have to worry about not missing a jump. Well, there is this with the spider. I always recommend being a bit far back when you go ahead and make the jump to get past him. Wait for him to go back up. And you're on your way. See, everything looks nice here. What's rendered on screen is very nice. It very well filled out. That the Smurf doesn't appear to have much of any eyes and appears to have empty eye sockets is a bit creepy, but could be worse than that on that, I guess. And there we go. You've got Smurfette for the first time. Again, doesn't make sense because there'd be no real romantic stuff. Where'd the romance part be? I mean, it's not gonna be that way. Oh, that dadgum crow. Shoot. I had this down before. There we go. You have to time it just right to get past him. And the snakes, that's a matter of timing with them too. Oh, of course, he will turn around and come back at you. Gets a bit tougher with the crow there because you have to figure out how to get at him when he's on the right there by the ledge, and it's not super difficult. And of course, your buddy the spider has gotten a little bit faster than he was earlier. See, that's the thing. Each round goes from being super easy to being... Darn. And I got an extra life. I forgot. You get extra life at 10,000 points. Three of them. More snakes. Hi. In this part right here, you have to deal with the bat, which is not so bad as it might seem, but it can be a bit tricky in a way. Once you've done that, Smurfette shows that she's right there, and there you go. Of course, as I said, it's going to get progressively tougher with each round that you manage to pass. So, again, the graphics and all, everything's very nice in those regards. You know, it looks good, sounds pretty good, though it is a bit loud. Darn. And there we go. I think you guys have the idea with the gameplay. I'm not going to start all over for that. Okay, so that was Smurf Rescue in Gargamel's Castle. An original library game, a console port from Coleco for the Atari VCS 2600. It's pretty good. To me, it's one of those that's probably rather close, you know, to, it looks and sounds very good. Like I said, although the Smurf kind of has the dead eye, you know, doesn't look like he's got anything in the eye socket. But other than that, you know, sounds nice, looks nice, plays very well. In fact, it's very, very similar to the ColecoVision original library title, so I think it's one of the better done ones. Though you could say it may be something closer to a kid's game in a way. Anyway, I don't really have any recommendations and links on this one. I'd forgotten to look them up, so I'm sure there's some others who probably have it, but I had just forgotten altogether to look them up. I'd gotten busy with other things, so my apologies about that. So any of my preferred YouTubers who might have one on this one, unfortunately, I don't have anything to pair with it. Anyway, if you enjoy my channel's content, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And please don't hesitate to leave any questions, comments, or suggestions down in the comments section below. You guys take care. Have a great Wednesday. And I should see you again with, I'm not sure what's going to be yet, but it's going to be some or other, either, how do you say, homebrew, probrew, or prototype review on this next Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. I'll see you guys then.